welcome to Jefferson Liberty Radio, the voice of liberty in the Central Valley of California. I am Matthew. I'm actually out this week, so this is all pre-recorded, but I'm going to pass it along to the team in studio in just a second. But first, I want to tell you about our sponsorship opportunities. We are looking for sponsors for our show. We do really need your support to keep this show on the air. So if you're interested, we believe that we would provide great services to you, your business venture, etc. If you or anybody that you know of are interested in sponsoring our show, we've got some pretty reasonable rates. You can get in touch with us at sponsors@jeffersonlibertyradio.com. You can head over to our website, jeffersonlibertyradio.com. Find us on Facebook, message us, get in touch with us somehow. We do have a phone number as well, 209-214-8099. That's 209-214-8099. Get in touch with us. We would really love to set up a sponsorship opportunity for you or somebody that you know. We'll be looking forward to hearing from you soon. Now let's get on to the episode, and I'm going to pass it along to the team in studio.
Well, good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of Jefferson Liberty Radio. We had play a pre-recorded episode last week. We've had some deaths in the group. Everybody's doing fine now. So
not in our group. It was. Well, we're all still alive.
My group,
John.
Personally. But,
yeah, John. I'm sorry to hear about your grandfather.
That's
John.
all right. You know, we all have an expiration date that none of us know, and as long as we look at it that way, we can mourn the loss of those individuals and think of them fondly without being too upset.
There you go.
Right.
So,
yeah. Good way to look at it.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, let's face it. The only thing we're guaranteed is
death and taxes.
Well, not even taxes, because some people in this world aren't taxed.
That's true.
Okay? And the only thing we're guaranteed is that we'll be born and that we'll die. It's the circle of life.
Fact.
And what do we have?
Fact.
They've redone The Lion King here recently, so a lot of kids are learning that now in this generation.
Okay.
What do they say? Hakuna Matata. I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know. I don't think I've even seen the movie. That's funny.
As you all can tell, I'm here with Pat, and Aaron's joining us as well.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Tonight we want to touch on Assembly Bill 5. That's making its way through the California legislature at the current time. But there's one other piece of business that really bothering me at the current time. We're all sitting here in California District 10, United States House of Representatives District 10. Our representative is Josh Harder. Mr. Harder has on multiple occasions used Spanish language while representing us. He's on the floor of the House of Representatives, spoke his piece in Spanish. And that kind of violates our Constitution in the state of California. He's going to, this Sunday coming up, have a bilingual town hall. Again, violating our Constitution in the state of California.
And what section is that, John?
Well, we're looking at Article 3. That's labeled State of California. That would be Section 6. Clause A, it just states purpose. English is the common language of the people of the United States of America and the state of California. This section is intended to preserve, protect, and strengthen the English language, and not to supersede any of the rights guaranteed to the people by this Constitution. Clause B, English as the official language of California. English is the official language of the state of California. Clause C, enforcement. The legislature shall enforce this section by appropriate legislation. The legislature and officials of the state of California shall take all steps necessary to ensure that the role of English as the common language of the state of California is preserved and enhanced. The legislature shall make no law which diminishes or ignores the role of English as the common language of the state of California. Clause D. Personal right of action in jurisdiction of courts. Any person who is a resident of or doing business in the state of California shall have standing to sue the state of California to enforce this section, and the courts of record of the state of California shall have jurisdiction to hear cases brought to enforce this section. The legislature may provide reasonable and appropriate limitations on the time and manner of suits brought under this section. So basically, we've elected this man, Mr. Harder, whether we've personally voted for him or not. The district,
he is our
has elected him to represent us as Californians.
Yes,
in the House of Representatives.
He is our legislature.
Right. So, being that he's number one, a California resident, number two, our representative from California, shouldn't the laws of the state of California apply to him in his representation of us?
I would have to say yes, John.
And therefore, should he at all be speaking Spanish while representing us?
Not according to the Constitution, the California Constitution.
My viewpoint is simple. I've read it to you. These are our rules. California State Constitution. You all know I have the newest copy there is to have. We don't make this a secret. Josh Harder is a criminal.
This section, by the way, was adopted in November 4th of 1986.
Yeah, by ballot initiative Proposition 63, so that the voters of the state of California passed this by a majority vote. That's how this got in the Constitution. It was added November 4th, 1986, by a vote of the people.
So my question then would be, why do they insist on breaking the Constitution? Do they think that they are above the law? And that's what we're hearing from that side many, many times is no one is above the law. Seems like he thinks he is, doesn't it?
Well, my personal belief is he's ignorant of the law.
Well,
and that his
that's
office,
no excuse, though.
Right, it is no excuse. And the office staff in the state in the office here in Modesto is ignorant of the law as well.
Yes.
While the young man that answered the phone did listen attentively, I doubt it went anywhere.
Of course not.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I apologize for that.
If I were to ask the majority of people in the state today, what is the maximum speed limit in the state of California? You get all kind of answers: 65, 75.
Correct.
70. But the actual maximum speed limit in the state of California is 55 miles an hour, unless posted otherwise.
Correct.
See, that higher speed limit is not the speed limit. Well, it's like this, okay? English is the official language of the state of California. It's codified in our Constitution. That is the supreme law of the state of California, right? Only to be superseded by constitutional United States Constitution laws.
The law of the land.
Right. So, with that being said, ignorance of any law is no excuse. The simple fact is, Josh Harder is behaving in a criminal manner. You don't see anyone on Facebook on Representative Harder's page calling him on this. And I'm going to be quite frank. Mr. Howes, Mr. Dossett, you men have spoke with me personally. I do 100% expect you to tell these people the same things I'm telling them. I don't need to be the only one on these social media platforms saying this man is violating the law. Which one of these candidates will step up and start talking like me and not holding, well, we don't want to offend the Hispanics.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, we ain't talking Spanish. And any candidate that speaks Spanish, regardless of their party platform, will not have my vote. You hear that, Charles? You hear that, Ted? Any Spanish conducted in your campaigns while trying to represent us as Californians must be done in English.
I agree.
In the early 90s, now I was still in school at the time, having graduated high school in 1994. In the early 90s, English as a second language programs were very popular. We as a state spent a lot of money to bring these programs not only into the elementary, junior high, high schools, but into the community colleges to teach the Spanish speakers or the non-English speakers English.
And I think there were even programs for the adults who didn't speak English at the time, correct?
Well, there may have been, but I don't know because I wasn't an adult at the time. I'm talking I was a freshman or sophomore.
Let me tell you there was. Okay.
Okay. Well, I just have to use your experience when we talk about that.
Right.
Now, that being said, because we've forgotten where we were as a people in 1986 and the early 90s, and we've gotten to this point where we have to be inclusive. Okay? Which, keep in mind that word inclusive because I'm going to go somewhere else that just popped in my head.
Okay.
Okay? And we are not paying attention to who we are, what we stand for, or our laws. And it's why we're in the state we're in. It's why we have lack of representation. Because every generation has a different idea on what they are entitled to.
That's and another. Let me just add that the people who we elect don't follow these rules either.
Well, they don't know.
They don't know them, and that's there you go. That's the crux of it. Why don't they know?
They don't know, and I'm gonna bust on.
This is bugging me why they don't know that.
I'm gonna bust on Charles Dossett and Ted House right now, because I know Charles and Ted have both publicly said on this show and other places that they. And they've been recorded or viewed, utilizing the Spanish language. Mm-hmm. Charles has a Hispanic family. Very vocal about that, but not vocal about everything needs to be done in English. Well, I got news for you. I've just read every listener of this program. The textual documentation, the fact that not even our DMV tests should be conducted in any language other than English.
Correct.
Our signs are not in Spanish. The sign says stop, not alto.
Right.
Okay?
Right. They do. And,
well, I might say Modesto, Salida,
well, those are...
San Francisco.
Well,
Santa Barbara, those are names.
Those are names. And
well, we do have roads like Conejo.
Uh-huh.
Let's be quite frank. I'm using this as an example. While I do know what the words are, while I can function in society with a Spanish-speaking person.
And you do, and we all have friends who are Spanish.
Right. Well, my great-grandmother is Portuguese.
Yes.
100% come from Portugal.
Uh-huh.
It's but she didn't speak Portuguese at work.
She spoke English.
She spoke English.
Right.
She worked at Stanislaus Foods for years.
I remember a story, and I hope I haven't told this story before, but I did have a friend who moved here as a young girl. I think she was about 12 when she moved here from Italy, and all she spoke was Italian. While in school, she was forced to be in I believe it was a Spanish speaking class at that time, and she became very angry, and she had her cousin who spoke English. She had her accompany her down to the principal's office, and she said, "I do not want to be in this class. I want to learn English because I will not be able to function as a productive citizen in California if I don't know English." So she forced them to put her into an English speaking class.
Oh, good for her.
I very commendable. But it's how wonderful to be bilingual. I really look at people who are bilingual and I just envy them with all my life. But English is our language. Yes. English is the official language of California. It's not a federal language.
Right, but if you think globally, okay, and we don't have Donald Babadelier here, but, no. Thinking globally, acting locally.
Yep.
Globally, the English Empire was so large. Think about it. Mm-hmm. On every continent of this planet, English is the language of business.
It is. Well, airlines. Think of the airline industry.
Well, for the airline industry, it's a safety issue.
Exactly.
Right? All airline pilots have to know English. If you're going to communicate with their traffic control, you do it in English.
Yep.
So there is no mistake as to what's being said. Uh-oh.
Oh, someone's phone's going off. Oh. Anyway.
Hey. You know, the guy that came up with that was probably from the very town we're sitting in anyway, so.
He was.
I don't know about that.
Sorry
I don't know about the music.
That's okay.
I don't know about the music, but Star Wars is a local creation here.
Correct. Oh, now, did you mute that?
I turned it off.
Okay.
Aaron,
no more problems.
Aaron's phone over here going off in the middle of recording. It's great. Everybody's reaching down, turning their volume off.
I don't have my phone here, so.
Well, some of us.
It might. It might go off. Anyway, that's what happens when we're recording sometimes.
Hey, and we record live. This is in living color
that's
here,
it.
you know?
That's right.
We like people to know that we're only human.
We may broadcast tape delayed, but we record live.
That's right.
All right.
But anyway.
The whole thing is English is the language of business.
Now, we're not going to ever sue Josh Harder for this. We just
I'm not going to sue Josh. I'm not going to sue Ted. I'm not going to sue Charles.
Well,
but one of these
because
men,
they said we can, we're not going to do that.
Right. But one of these men, let's face it, Marla Livengood won't even contact us back to speak with us.
Correct.
Okay?
Right.
I knew going in Josh Harder probably not going to come on our show. Okay?
Probably not.
I do my town halls, and, I sound like a Barack Obama, like verbatim, and I got that down, and the cadence and everything.
Yep.
And I'm Josh Harder, and I'm
three
here
syllables,
for you.
3 words at a time. 3 words at a time.
Together,
3 words at a time.
we can affect change. Together, we can be the best district in the nation. Well, I knew this guy ain't going to come on the program, right? Anyway. He only sees me during his open office hours because he doesn't have the testicular fortitude to tell me, dude, I'm not going to do what you want, and we don't need to talk about it because you and I don't see eye to eye.
And they don't listen to anybody who doesn't have their very point of view.
Well, I mean, unless you're Auntie Nancy, Josh don't want to talk to you.
Oh. Unless you're anti-Nancy?
Auntie Nancy.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I know Aunt Nancy's not, and Nancy Pelosi's not Josh Harder's aunt. Okay, let's not go there. I'm not saying that, but okay, my mother has friends that are not my blood relatives. Yes. And out of respect for that individual, that elder person to me,
yes,
and the relationship that my parent and that person had, it was auntie this or uncle that, and hey, it is what it is. Okay. We all do that.
I get what you're saying.
Josh respects Miss Harder, Miss Harder,
Pelosi.
Mrs. Pelosi in that same manner. So, a sign of respect for her. This is his Auntie Nancy.
I was thinking you were saying it is like an anti.
Not like, well, I'm anti-Nancy as well.
That's right.
But
let's make that clear.
It's not like Gavin where it is a through marriage or this or that
nepotism,
a cousin, a second or third or 15th cousin or auntie 10 times removed situation. And let's face it, when people say, "Oh, that's Nancy's nephew," Gavin Newsom is not Nancy Pelosi's nephew. There's these 4 families in California that kind of commingled, their disdain for the rest of us.
Yes, the peons.
And they just stayed together. Well, whatever, that happens.
That happens.
But on another note, these other men, they need to address this subject.
I hope they do.
I know that at least one of them listens to the show. I'd like to see something on their Facebook page saying at least recognizing the fact that they have been complicit in violating our state constitution, and see some if not apology, a commitment to cease that type of activity.
That's what I want to see. I want to see a commitment to that.
Right?
To that.
From
our
both,
Constitution.
From both men.
Exactly.
From both
men.
From
all men. All of them. Please, but I'm not going to ask. Josh Harder's not going to do it. No.
Mr. Harder, so many people are so ignorant. I'm not even going to say ignorant. The people of the California District 10 are stupid. They truly are stupid. Because this man's entire term, I've been on there telling these people there's no enumerated responsibility for these things. There's no call for Josh to involve himself in education or in transportation or in healthcare or in this subject or that subject. And they tell me things like, well, that's how it is, or we have to take care of each other. No, I don't owe nobody nothing.
Right.
Pat don't owe nobody nothing. Aaron don't owe nobody nothing. None of our money needs to go for Joe Blow's drug rehabilitation or housing allowance for his tent under the 9th Street Bridge. And as a matter of fact, Josh Harder shouldn't even be involving himself in a homelessness issue. Because it's not enumerated. That is a 10th Amendment issue. Anything not delegated or enumerated is reserved for the states.
Correct. It's not a federal issue.
So we know the man's violating the California Constitution in his representation of us, and he's also violating the 10th Amendment of the United States Constitution. And when I tell these people Josh Harder is a criminal, I'm telling you the things he's doing, in my opinion, are a high crime, not a misdemeanor, a felonious behavior, because he's been told, he's been informed that what he's doing is against the law.
But he's above the law.
He's not above the law.
But that's what he thinks.
Well, he ain't Judge Dredd. He ain't, I am the law.
I know.
It's not Sylvester Stallone. Stuff don't fly.
Yeah. Let's. I understand.
Which I use the word inclusivity. Okay,
right.
to include the Spanish people. We have to be inclusive. Let's get back to that inclusivity. Another thing Mr. Harder is against, and he's came out very publicly against this, and I don't know if the two of you are aware of this, but there's going to be a straight pride event in our county, in Modesto here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
About it, yeah.
Yes.
Let's be perfectly clear. I'm pretty sure that the three of us and Matthew are not going to participate in this event.
No, I have no desire to do that. All it is going to cause
asking for
angst.
trouble.
It's going to cause angst. There's not going to improve it. It's not going to help anything.
No,
in my opinion.
In any like we discussed today in private conversations, and the only reason I share it is because we're all in agreement. Any of these pride events, let's be perfectly clear. Anytime you're going to celebrate Pride, you're disrespecting someone else, and you do not have the right to disrespect another group or another person.
That's where I am.
Okay?
Exactly.
At the same time, if we're going to allow gay pride, LGBTQ pride, Hispanic pride, black pride,
right,
we have to allow all pride events.
right.
I'm going to tell you, I personally attend Portuguese Festas, the celebration of the Holy Spirit. Those are religious ceremonies that the Portuguese people continue to perform. Okay?
Right.
In observance of their faith, and because they're allowed to in the First Amendment. It's one of the 5 protected areas of the First Amendment.
Religion.
Freedom of religion.
Right.
Okay? Yeah. That is a religious activity, a LGBTQ, a gay, a straight, a black, a Hispanic, a white. None of these pride events are protected. Let's be very clear. While we do have the right to assemble, okay, we don't have the right to degrade anyone or anything, even ourselves. And I'll be quite frank. We've all seen the degrading behavior that even the LGBTQZXY, I don't care how many letters you put in front of you or behind you. You people, when you have your pride parades, discriminate against each other, against the other lettered initials amongst you, and you paint yourselves in a very poor light.
Exactly.
And what's going to happen during the straight pride deal? Okay, I know some of the key players that are putting this thing together that are going to be very upset when they hear what I have to say because they think I'm among them or of them.
Yeah.
But it's not right for them to do what they're doing in opposition or in reaction to a gay pride or this or that.
That's where
Be the better person.
That's where I am as well.
We all know that you have to be heterosexual to continue the species.
Yes.
Okay? Because they want to be, because one group wants to be a moron, why do you have to be a moron as well?
I do believe that's exactly what it is. They're lowering themselves to it, to the.
I think they're looking for the same. They're looking for a reaction.
Yeah.
They're getting a reaction. Okay? What's going to happen is there's an equal and opposite reaction for every action. So there's already an anti-straight pride movement going on Facebook. Our District 10 representative, instead of coming out and saying what I've just said, all of these pride events discriminate against someone and they're all wrong. The message that came from Josh Harder was there may be an LGBTQ child that is injured, mentally injured because of this straight pride event. Let's be very clear. No one is going to be injured mentally, physically, or emotionally because an event takes place. Any emotional or
unless they want it to happen.
Well, it's already going to be existing. It's already going to be a mental issue to begin with. If they're claiming that an event like this is causing them harm.
Right.
They're already mentally ill.
However, I don't care what your orientation is.
Right.
You don't
That's
have
not
a
the point. That's
That's
not the point.
you don't have a right to discriminate against others or to incite a reaction. I'm not going to say incite violence because nobody has one of these pride events to garner support for abusive activity. The event starts out as they just want to celebrate their being or their status or whatever. Like these guys are celebrating their heterosexuality. like LGBTQ or the gay pride parades in the Bay Area that we're all familiar with, they're celebrating their homosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Let's be very clear. Homosexuality covers it all. Done with the LBGTQ, WXYZ, it's homosexuality.
Yep.
Homo being same, sexuality being sexuality.
Right.
Hetero being different, sexuality being sexuality.
Right.
I personally, as a liberty-minded individual, don't care what you do behind your closed doors.
Don't care.
I don't care if you're straight and you're straight behind your closed doors. If you're homosexual behind your closed doors, don't come to my park.
Don't impose it on me.
Right. There's should be a live and let live attitude.
Don't come to my
libertarian attitude.
But don't come to my park.
Right.
Don't even try to get a permit to show me what you're all about. I don't care what you're about.
Right.
Aaron doesn't care what you're about. Pat doesn't care what you're about. Nobody should care what you're about. And if you're mixed up with an Antifa-light, conservative group,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you're putting on this thing, that doesn't make you any better than the actual Antifa.
There you go.
That doesn't make you any better than the actual, organizers of the Pride events in San Francisco. We're not solving anything.
It's not solving anything, and it's not going to prove anything.
Here I am, a half hour into, hey, I just got to get some stuff off my chest here.
Look at this. Well, we knew this was going to happen, John. Aaron and I knew this, right? We said, just go ahead.
Hey, and not one F-bomb yet.
No, thank God for that. We'll have to pull that out. We can pull that one out.
I edit these things, so.
Yeah, so we're okay. But, the bottom line is that this is not going to do anybody any good. Just like any of these pride parades, any of these, it doesn't prove or doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anybody.
Not at all.
If they can explain to me how walking down the street in numbers makes them feel good. Well, maybe that's it. Maybe that's all there is to it. I don't know. But it just boggles my mind that the fact that I have to show who I am and what I do behind my closed doors, because that is what I am and who I am. I don't want. I'm a private person. I don't want people to know what happens.
Right. You know what just came to mind when you were speaking?
Tell me.
Okay. It's not what we are or who we are that, as far as what we do,
mm-hmm.
that defines who we are. Our actions, to a certain extent, our integrity or lack of. There's a lot of things that make up who we are and what we are.
Right. And how you treat people. Yeah.
Your sexuality doesn't make up who you are. It doesn't make up what you are.
Nope.
It's one facet of the stone that is your life.
Exactly.
There's so many. We're all like diamonds. There's so many facets to us that one issue cannot fully define you.
It shouldn't.
Unless you let it.
There you go.
And when you let it, it allows militant attitudes to come into place. And the thing that bothers me about this straight pride event, about all these pride events really,
correct,
Black pride, Hispanic pride, gay pride, is it's a militant attitude culture.
That's right.
And what you mean by tell us what you mean by militant.
Well, I mean, it's like it's a group of people coming together to say loud and proud, we are better than you.
And you better accept us for that.
Well, yeah. Right. You have to accept what I am.
Right.
Okay? Josh Harder is a criminal. I don't have to accept that Josh Harder is a criminal.
Right.
Josh Harder is fluent in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know he's fluent in Spanish because he blah, 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 blahs, habla, habla, hablas on the United States House floor.
Right.
Okay? doesn't change the fact that he's not Spanish. He's Josh Harder. Simply because he can speak Spanish doesn't make him Hispanic.
And
right?
It doesn't make him better.
It doesn't make him better, doesn't make him worse, but it does. What makes him worse is he doesn't follow the laws. Mm-hmm. Okay? Another thing. We were supposed to talk about AB 5. We'll get to that in a minute. That's toilet paper. The whole paper that thing's written on is toilet paper.
No kidding.
Here's another thing that upsets me about what's happening in Stanislaus County.
Okay, tell me, John.
Okay? I don't know if Anthony Cannella...
How long is this going to take? Just
not
kidding.
very
Just
long.
kidding.
Not very long.
I'm just
I don't
kidding.
know if Anthony Cannella listens to this program. Anthony Cannella, as my mayor of Ceres, you did a wonderful job. Hey, if anybody knows Anthony Cannella and he doesn't, hey, introduce him to my program because I'm going to slap him silly right now. As mayor of Ceres, I supported the man.
Yes.
I voted for him.
Right.
Each time he ran for mayor.
Right.
When he ran for assembly, I voted for him. Mm-hmm. When he ran for senator of the state, I voted for him. Mr. Cannella, you will not get my vote for county supervisor. Kirsten Olson, Tom Berryhill, and Anthony Cannella, you people have your pensions go away. No new blood can come into politics if you people continue to come back from your term limits in Sacramento to take up our public offices. You were mayor, you were assembly person, you were a state senator. You do not need to be county supervisor. Go the hell away.
That's a really good point. That's a very good point.
Just career politicians are finding a way around the term limits.
Well, we know that he's collecting a state pension. Okay, he
Correct,
termed out of
course.
office in the state Senate.
Right.
He has a retirement, and I'd say it's pretty healthy.
I'm sure of that.
If I had to guess, it's over the $80,000 that the county supervisor position pays. Okay. Now I'm not saying that I would be an elected to county supervisor, but it was a thought running through my mind. Run for Mr. DeMartini's seat, District 5 seat. Okay. Mm-hmm. But now let's be realistic. Mr. Cannella has thrown himself in the race.
And nobody else
and on
will
name
have a
recognition,
chance.
Will I have a chance?
Nobody will have a chance.
Not a snowball's chance in hell. Because
Correct.
this man can't stay out.
It seems almost to be like a mindset or what do I want to say? What's the word I want to say?
Well, they're oligarchs. Okay, we've heard it. We've heard it from the Jefferson State of Mind people. We've heard it from Chris Ann Hall. We've heard it from everybody.
They are
the ruling class, and they will not allow anyone else in. Mr. Cannella, go away. The best thing that he could do advise. Is not hold office, but to advise a new crop coming in.
Wouldn't that be a great thing for him to do?
But let's think, okay? He just termed out the last time. Mm-hmm. We have this Anna Cabrala, or I'm sorry if I mess up her name. We have this girl in that Senate district that Mr. Cannella was in, which is neither here nor there. But some of the things that are happening in the state of California today, the homelessness issue, Mr. Cannella, you are part of that problem.
Yeah.
Okay, you were in office in one form or another for the better part of 2 decades, whether it be local or state level. Huh? Don't come back to Stanislaus County, where we have a major homelessness issue.
Right.
And say you're here to do what's best for the county.
You know what's...
Because you were one of 120 folks that didn't do what's best for this state. And now you're going to run for one of 5 positions in my county. And what are you going to do? Nothing but stagnate us.
That's it. Well, I just came. I went home for a while. I went back to Montana for a while, and they have exactly the same problems that we have. A good old boy network that stagnates their. I mean, it has been that way since I was a child. I remember my parents talking about how nobody can get into any office because these people, they will get the people who their friends, the good old boys, back into the positions that they want, so they can get and get whatever they want out of the constituents. We've got someone right now who is, I shouldn't say we, I should say my hometown has someone right now who is just a fabulous guy who is really going to do great things for as a city commissioner. And this will be the second time he's run. And I do believe he's got a chance of winning. He is bringing up, issue after issue. Finally, they've got someone, I should say, once again, who may do some good in that city. I just hope one small voice will make a difference. That's another thing. With what is one person going to do? How well we have learned that one person can make a difference. We've learned that in the past from the people from like Shannon Poe. What he's done, the great things that he's done. One person has done great, good things in the mining with the local mining industry. So one person can make a difference, but I think it's time for us to really look at who we're electing, get the career politicians out. Come on, guys, we got it. We have got to do this. We cannot let them just run us into the ground.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And let's face it. So we have this. Jim DeMartini's retiring, Stanislaus County.
And thank you, Jim. You have done good, a lot of good in the county.
Well, Jim's the only one that gives a crap.
I think you're right.
Okay,
I think you're right. I agree with you.
Kirsten Olson, Vito, okay, Terry. Tom Berryhill. Tom Berryhill might as well be wrapped up in mummy cloth up there.
Yeah.
Tom Berryhill, you know what? Needs to go home. He needs to retire. I love the Berryhill family, but this man does not need to be sitting as a county board of supervisor. Guys, every time I go down there, the man's asleep.
Yep. Sleeping.
Because let's make one thing very clear. We said at the beginning of this show, I just recently lost my grandfather. Would I have wanted my grandfather as a county supervisor? Hell no. Hell no. And Tom Berryhill's older than he was. Do I want Nancy Pelosi and Dianne Feinstein, or my grandmother as federal representatives? Hell no. Because
how old is she?
The brain and the body don't function. Not only that, your mental capacity does deteriorate over time. Your ability to think on your feet, think quickly, develop cognitive thoughts based on what you read. Hey, newsflash. The residents of U.S. District 10 that frequently post on Josh Harder's Facebook page have zero reading comprehension skill. Zero. So if the 20 and 30 and 40 somethings have zero reading comprehension skill.
And you can tell by the way they write.
Right. And then we listen to and no disrespect intended, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, all these age group people in Washington speak. They don't comprehend. It's all
close.
feeling and emotion. Yeah, but you're not a public figure.
There you go. I'm not a public figure.
So what if it takes you an extra 2 seconds to carry on a conversation with us here on this show? It's more of a relaxed setting. Look, I'm sitting here with my knee up.
You're making me laugh because
But it's the truth.
It's the truth. It is the truth. And, you know, you guys, you have to face it. John is right with that. People who in those positions who are above the age
look at Joe Biden.
Oh,
He's been taken apart in the last two debates by all these younger candidates. It's like they're sharks who smell blood in the water. Mm-hmm. One piles on, the next one, and the next one, and the next one. They're all on him, and it's like they smell blood in the water, and they're going after him.
Yeah.
Really, what
deservedly so. I'm going to just say that.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched the crap show that is, but even okay, on Facebook, we all have friends that are in that Democratic Party. You know, you can't. There are people who watch these things, even if we choose not to watch these debates ourselves. And Facebook is flooded with this is like trying to find a Tootsie Roll in the sewer treatment plant and this and that. You know, it's. I don't know who put that up. I saw that
today.
It's like, really, seriously though. You know, it's and the memes out there that this person's king of giving you free stuff, and that person's mad because they weren't queen of free stuff tonight, and da 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 da.
Yeah.
It ain't about free stuff.
It isn't, and I'm just hoping that the people who are listening tonight or Saturday when this comes out, I hope you realize that we're speaking from our hearts here. This is just a conversation that we're having, and I'm hoping that you can find some agreeance with this, because I have a feeling that more people agree with the way we are talking tonight than don't agree with it.
Well, one would have to hope.
Well, we hope so, yeah.
One would have to hope. I mean, you look at the 3 Board of Supervisors seats that are open in Stanislaus County.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already vocally said, right here publicly, I was seriously considering a run. It makes no sense to even pay the money to file.
Nope.
Because
not with those,
Anthony Canella is going to take District 5, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. And what is he going to do? What good will he be doing?
Well, I don't know that he'll necessarily do any bad. But he had 12 years in Sacramento to do something, and look at what we have.
Right.
Okay? Now I'll give it to him that he was member of the opposition party. But let's be quite frank. Does it really matter if you're Democrat or Republican if you're voting for bullcrap bills? Did they do anything as a collective body in the last 12 years to counter the homelessness crisis that was coming? And let's be perfectly clear, I was driving through Lodi today.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a truck driver, commercial driver by trade, and 3 highway patrol vehicles, 4 Caltrans vehicles, and a loader removing people's homes from the side of the freeway. People, don't set up your homeless camp on the highway. Crap goes wrong fast.
Yes.
And at 65 miles an hour plus, those cars will climb the hill and run you over. Wheels come off. Anything. Don't put your house on the highway. Yeah. Now, that doesn't change the fact that there are several reasons people are homeless. But we've done nothing as a state to curb that. Okay? And now one of those individuals is going to come here and run and win Stanislaus County District 5 seat, where we probably have one of the top 10 homeless issue counties in the state. There's not a major city in this county, be it Modesto or Turlock, that doesn't have homeless issue.
I think you probably have to say in the state, because I can't think of any major city that doesn't have, in California, that doesn't have any problems with that, with the homeless. this is such a big problem, and this is always it has always bothered me because I try to figure out what would I do if I had the power to take care of this problem. And I have to tell you that if you watch that documentary, Seattle is Dying, there is a solution to this problem. And the problem, one of the things you have to realize is that homelessness is not the issue. It is the drug problem that causes homelessness, and it is the mental issues that cause the mental issues that cause the homeless. You have to go to the root of where these problems lie, and they lie in those two. Granted, there are people who are down on their luck who don't use drugs and don't have the mental capacity or don't have mental issues, but those are very few and far between. Most of them have mental issues and drug problems, or both. And you've got to address those before you can even think about the problem of homelessness. Now, one thing I have to add in there is that I was listening to Dr. I think his name is Dr. Drew, and he was speaking about how Dr. Drew. He's Dr. Drew. No, I think it is. Well, no, wait a minute.
Is he the one that was with Adam Carolla back in the 90s?
Yeah, that's Dr. Drew.
That's
Pinsky.
Dr. Drew.
Yeah, but he was on Laura Ingram, and he was talking, and he is very vocal about this issue. He is upset because of the fact that there is raw sewage that is being run off right into the ocean right now because of these homeless issues. There's no place for these people to go to the bathroom, so they go on the street and it runs off and it goes right into the ocean. He does not allow any of his family to even go to the beach anymore.
Yeah, that's just, I understand, and there are bacterial concerns and this and that, but let's face it. Does anybody in this group know what the solution to pollution is?
Dilution.
Okay. And the ocean, whether we call it the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Arctic Ocean.
So you don't think that's going to problem? That's not a problem.
No, well, you're going to have localized bacterial issues. Okay.
And that has always happened. I remember them closing the beaches many times for that very reason.
They do it a lot in L.A.
Right. Well,
right.
But let's face it.
Okay. Well, Dr. Drew is not my...
Our sewer treatment plants dump in the rivers, dump in the lakes, dump in the ocean.
Well, after they've been treated, tell me, you are.
So do we want to get off on the microplastics issue that we're having because everybody has cotton polyester blend clothes? I mean, how about the garbage that other countries dump in the ocean? The plastic straw issue.
Yes.
We can't have a plastic
turtle
straw
killers
in California because China dumps their garbage in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Because Africa dumps their garbage in the ocean. I mean, come on.
Right.
Dude, 90% of the time when I'm at a restaurant, I don't use a straw anyways. You know, you're at a bar, you don't use a straw anyways.
Well, I haven't been to a bar for a long time, but a restaurant, I always ask for a straw.
If it's a mixed drink, you might, but for a beer, no. Or if you're going to have a shot, of course you don't need a straw.
Right, but you know what I'm saying.
We gotcha. We're just
I'm not
trying
gonna
to.
I'm not going to let my kid go swim in the ocean because there's human fecal matter draining down the road.
You know what? It brought a lot of attention to the issue. That's the bottom line,
right.
Which was a good thing. Okay.
Right. Well,
I just hope that this podcast is worth listening to
sure
after we're
be.
ranting.
no, you know what? These are the best episodes we have, though. The more structured episodes, we just don't get the listenership. And it's because, how many episodes have we had where we give out, legitimate, actual needed information?
Oh.
But people can't connect with it, so they don't share it.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So that's good. Then
we
I'm
need
glad to hear that, John.
We need y'all to share these episodes.
Absolutely.
Okay? Especially if you're in U.S. District 10.
Yes.
Especially if you're in the state of California.
Yes.
Especially if you're in Stanislaus
Amen,
County.
brother.
Everyone in Stanislaus County needs to hear what I have to say about this impending Board of Supervisors crisis we are about to have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bottom line,
Face
no
it.
matter who says it, it does need to be said.
Well, our representative from the northeast section of the county, Kirsten Olson, you know why she's not running again? I can tell you why.
Okay.
For DUI?
Because if she was a man, she would have stepped on her manhood when she got that DUI. Okay? People don't forget these things. She's not running again because she knows she screwed up. It ain't because she wants to focus on New Way, California, which is a joke.
It is a joke.
Hey, Marie, New Way, California and New California are two different things. That's a sore spot anyways. Hey, so but that's why she's not running again. Our representative, we have one representative
I'm going to tell you, at least she has the integrity to do that, because a lot of politicians.
But she didn't cite it as that in the Modesto Bee. Now, did she?
No, she didn't. You're right.
She didn't say, I know I screwed up and I'm not going to win. And you know what? That's a good point. She has been publicly called on her discriminatory behavior.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely. And deservedly so.
Hey, in the county board of supervisors public comment period, this woman was challenged for her discriminatory behavior. Okay? She discriminated against the wrong person, and he showed up on a work day to let her know, you will not do that to me. Now, she has not been given the opportunity to again, but atta girl. Thanks, Kirsten. Just go away.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah, girl, don't go away mad. Just go away.
Well, I don't care if she does go away mad.
I hope she stays.
Because I was pretty mad when she blew me off.
Politics.
Yeah. Let's be quite frank.
Mm-hmm.
She discriminated against me, and I wasn't too happy about it.
No.
Okay? And yeah, I'm the guy that showed up and called her on it.
Right. I do remember that.
And the bottom line is, she can go away as pissed off as she wants. Just don't come back. We don't need you.
The problem is that she'll still be involved in California politics, though, and that's what
Right, and here's what frustrates me about Mr. Canella.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm trying to be involved.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
I was like, all right. I'm in my mid-40s here.
Right.
Okay?
Perfect time to enter politics.
I'm secure in my employment.
Right.
Right? I work for myself. I'm an officer in my corporation.
Correct.
I can move things around. I can work at night.
Mm-hmm.
My customers are flexible. Long-term contracts with these people. Just get your work done. Don't bother me. Here, let me pay you, and we both go away, Yeah. It's to the point where I could possibly swing the Tuesday morning meetings, which are a joke.
They are.
Okay?
Right. How well attended are they?
I belong to a fraternal organization that we meet on Tuesdays, but I can miss a Tuesday evening deal.
Mm-hmm.
For miss the socializing that we do there at that organization one Tuesday night a month to take care of a supervisory role. And hey, guess what? I have gainful employment. Maybe that's why they don't want to allow people like me a chance to run. Maybe we get enough people in there and we say, dude, this don't have to be an $80,000 a year full-time job. This is Can you
believe that? $80,000 a year to be on this. on the Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors.
Right, there's 5 of them.
Five of them.
That's $400,000, and then what's Jody's name? I forget his last name.
Oh,
yeah,
Mr. Hayes.
yeah, Jody Hayes.
Or Jody Hayes? Jody Hayes?
Yes.
Willie Mays Hayes? What?
Yeah.
What? You know he makes over 100.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that man makes close to $200,000 a year. So let's think about this. We got over $500,000 of money wasted.
Yes, giving out awards on Tuesday morning, Tuesday night. Yes.
And why is he sitting up there anyways? Okay? So there's like 8 seats up there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We got 5 county board of supervisors. You want to talk about representation? You want to talk about the dilution of your voice? Stanislaus County, we're getting screwed.
We are. Wake up, people.
Screwed.
Wake up, people.
How many people are in Stanislaus County? There's over 500,000 in Modesto.
What is the population? Check it out, because I thought it was like 300,000 in Modesto. Am I wrong?
Stanislaus County?
No, just Modesto.
Oh, just Modesto.
The county.
It's over 2. I know that.
I think we're like a 580 in the county.
In the county,
Yeah.
not Modesto though. I was just thinking about Modesto.
Hey,
but we've got a census.
estimated in 2015 was 538,388
in the county.
in the county.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
that's
a
what I
2015 estimate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's a problem. I've
Well,
sat on
more than one problem, but what
I've sat on this podcast and said our representation ratio in the state 500,000 is unacceptable. I've said we need to be at like 80,000 in the state.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be at like 100,000 in the federal government. People, we are over 100,000 per county supervisor. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Where do things start? Where does our republic start? Our republic starts at our local level, our city, our county, then our state, then the United States. Okay? Our republic starts at home. And if we can't fix it home because of these career politicians, we can't fix the state. And we can't fix the nation. So you know what?
Maybe that's by design.
I don't know that it's necessarily by design, but we're 538. Just say we're 538, right? We're 538 and some change.
John's doing the math.
Yeah. Well, now they got my brain going. So let's just say 540.
Okay. That's a good number.
540,000 divided by 80,000. We should have 7 county board of supervisors at the levels that I'm saying we need at the state. There's enough room for 12.
Right.
There's enough room for 12.
12 county board of supervisors?
12 supervisors.
Yeah. They've got a lot of room in between those chairs.
Right? There's 8 chairs there now.
Yeah, right.
We could put 4 more chairs in there. Tom may not be able to lean back so far while he's taking his nap.
John.
Hey, so we're going to have to get the AB5 next time. We've been ranting for an hour.
We have been.
But seriously, people, we're going to have a show very soon on Assembly Bill 5. It's worker status, employees and independent contractors. The state of California is trying to apply a superior court case against Dynamex operations to a certain group of industries in California. It's a bad deal. Look it up online, AB5,
and
do some research on it.
Please do,
because we're going to have to discuss that next time.
this also affects a lot of Uber and Lyft drivers.
Well, what it's going to do, it's going to, if, here's my issue with AB5. You need to research it, and you need to keep this in mind while you're researching it. It violates our equal protection under the law as individuals.
Correct.
And when I say that and you read this thing, you'll understand that in AB5, certain industries are exempted from mandatory participation in certain state programs, while others are forced to comply. Okay?
Doesn't seem like it should be that way.
If we're going to regulate one industry, we must regulate all industries equally, or we are violating those people's equal protection under the law. Okay? So go research that.
Please.
We'll check it.
Please do.
We'll get back to it here very, very shortly.
But as
we need to have that as our next episode because after next week, 2 weeks from now, Mr. Poe and the other Walk for Liberty individuals will be starting their walk from Vinton to Oakhurst on 49.
Yes.
Walk for Liberty is quickly approaching.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I believe that was August 27th.
And if you haven't listened to that episode, please get on there and listen to that one. It is an awesome. I learned so much on that episode. Shannon Poe is just a wealth of knowledge in that area.
Yeah, he is.
And it's so much to learn.
Well, and that walk is culminating on
Very
the 27th at 1 p.m. on the South Lawn, State Capitol,
Sacramento.
Bring your flag, wave your flag. Can't say that enough.
Please bring your flags. Bring your U.S. flags.
We will address Assembly Bill 5 in the next episode. The episode after that will be live from the road with Mr. Poe.
Yes, he's going up
from his walk. He wants to do that, and we're going to facilitate that.
That's going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to that episode.
A neat episode.
As well.
Him on top of the RV right before dinner, sweaty,
right,
cooking his hot dogs or whatever,
or up on the mountain or someplace where you can get a signal. That's a signal.
And there are what do you say, Sheriff Benoise.
Yes.
We'll be walking with him through Mariposa.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, the name eludes me. The sheriff from Plumas County will be walking with him as well.
Ooh, I should know that.
That
too.
was on Facebook today. I saw that.
Yes.
So we are getting some government officials to walk a mile in their shoes. It's a wonderful thing.
It is a great thing. Good constitutional sheriffs are just wonderful to have.
Speaking of sheriffs, hey, Dirksey, English is the official language of California. Make sure all your deputies deal with these individuals in English only. Thank you.
Well, if only that could happen. Anyway.
Well, I'm going to put it out there.
There you go. That was good. It was good. Anyway, John, thanks for all your chatting tonight. I appreciate everything you have to say. Aaron, thank you so much for putting out your points of view.
Oh, thanks.
That's good. Your additions, how about that? Your addition to
that works.
To the podcast. And
well, everybody plays a role here.
We do. I'm a good listener. I'll add what I can, and John did some good talking tonight.
I just bellyache.
Yeah, well, that's you know what? You had to get it off your chest, and this is a good place to do it because people need to learn. Well, need to know what is going on in our county. Yeah. That, and just the fact that we can't get anybody else into a position as in a county. And as a county role in a county board of supervisor area, just knowing that, people, you've got to realize what we're up against.
It's disheartening.
It is disheartening.
I mean, it's like totally,
why?
I saw that.
Where's our representation?
And it's a sponsored ad, so he paid for it on Facebook. I see that, and it's like, dude, just punched me in the throat, please.
Yeah.
Because that's what
so
you've
sad.
done.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
You've just kneecapped us.
Yep.
You've stagnated us for how many ever years you want to be county supervisor.
Yep.
Not only that, I'm already paying you, dude.
Yeah. You're already being paid.
Take the money you're getting, be happy with it, and go away. You're not entitled to more. Okay?
Oh, but this is America. He's got the right to do it. Let's just put it that way.
Well,
We have to know that. But he's
simply
not,
because you have the right, there are responsibilities that
You're
come
right,
with that as well.
there is a responsibility. I agree with that.
He has
but
a responsibility
yeah. Yeah. Hey, buddy.
to do his time and go home.
Right thing. Do the right thing.
Well, he's not going to drop out now.
No.
But you know, we hear it all the time. The representatives were expected to do their time and go home.
Right. That's the way that's the way our founding fathers wanted it to be.
Our founding fathers, we've been seriously talking about the state legislature and things that we'd like to see as a group change there.
Right.
Right? I mean, there's another show on that coming very soon too. But let's be very clear. Article 4, Section 2, Clause 3, or Clause 4. During his or her or his lifetime, a person may serve no more than 12 years in the Senate, the Assembly, or both, in any combination of terms. The subdivision shall apply to those members of the state or Senate or the Assembly who are first elected to the legislature, blah, blah, blah. Who cares when they were first elected? The people said 12 years.
Right.
He got his 12 years. Prior to that, he was mayor of Ceres.
Right.
Prior to that, he was a city council member.
Okay.
The man has done his time.
Okay.
The spirit of the voters in the state of California, whether or not he's allowed to or not.
Yes.
Well, he is allowed to. He should not.
He's not. Yeah, he's not doing his
Mr. Cannella, while you are able to, you should not.
There you go. That's it. You should consult that would be
an
great.
Incoming group of individuals.
Wouldn't that be that? I think that
I
is
have
exactly
no
right.
problem with our former assembly persons, our former senators, our former presidents, our former senators on the federal level mentoring a new candidate, helping someone get into politics. I do have a problem with you wanting to take every office beneath you.
Well,
if you want to continue,
did the same thing, didn't he?
Yeah, but what did Barry Hill need to do as a senator? Okay, I'm going to be quite frank. He needed to run for a federal office. Okay, mm-hmm. But at his age, he couldn't win a federal office. Okay, and what was it? Frank Darnell ran against Tom Berryhill. Dude, you only had one sign in town, bro.
Oh yeah.
I probably only saw 2 of your signs the whole campaign against Berryhill.
Right.
Right. You wasn't gonna win with 2 signs.
No.
Dude, I got a vinyl machine. I could put 2 signs on my car.
Yeah.
And depending on the filing fee, I might say, here, John for supervisor, and just run 2 signs on my vehicles. We have a all series District 5 race.
There you go.
Huh?
Let's give it a try, John.
Well, it's monetary. I'm not going to just throw away
Right.
$2,000 because
Right.
let's face it, it would be a throwaway.
It would be a throwaway. Okay,
Anyway.
should we wrap this up? Let's wrap this up.
Yep.
Let's not let John go again.
No, I could go for another 45 minutes.
Yeah, we know that. Well, that
So-
people are. We can't do that. We just can't do that.
Either way,
So,
stay tuned. Next week,
stay tuned.
We will
Closer.
we will go over Assembly Bill 5.
Yes, we will.
We'll talk about that. Remember, we do have a phone number. You can ask us questions on that phone number.
That would be great to hear from you guys.
It'll be broadcast here in the exit information. We do have Facebook. Like us and follow us on Facebook. Jefferson Liberty Radio, Forgotten Liberty Media. Like both of those pages. Follow us. Ask us questions there. You can post a question there. We will answer.
You can be anonymous. We would never.
Well, if you want us to mention your name, we'll mention your name.
Mention it, but you can be anonymous.
If we know you and we like you, we might let you show up to the studio and rant and rave with us.
Oh, that would be great. That's a really good idea, John.
You know, I don't mind that. Pat don't mind that if we know you and we like you. Yeah.
Well,
emphasis on the like you. We got to like you to have you here. If we don't like you, there ain't no sense talking to you.
As long as my dog likes you.
Well, if the dog don't like you, nobody likes you.
There you go.
So, yeah, ask us those questions on those medias, and if you're researching and you have a specific question, go ahead and ask. We'll do our best to get you the accurate information.
Yes, please do.
Thank you for enjoying this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Jefferson Liberty Radio. You can get in touch with us. Email us at feedback@jeffersonlibertyradio.com or via our website at jeffersonlibertyradio.com. You can also leave us a voicemail at 209-214-8099. That's 209-214-4089. We'd love to hear your questions and comments. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes or your podcast player of choice. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Google Play, or your podcast player of choice. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review where you can. We'd really appreciate it, and it actually does help our ratings. You can find us on all the typical social media, Twitter, Facebook, even some alternative media such as BitChute and Gab. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Jefferson Liberty Radio, and we'll catch you next time. Jefferson Liberty Radio is a production of Forgotten Liberty Media. The views expressed by the host or guests throughout the various episodes may not necessarily reflect the views of Forgotten Liberty Media as a company.